Hey guys, it's Kinsley and Laura with 1845 Barndominiums. Welcome back to the Barndo channel. When people think about building a custom home, one of the first things they get excited about is making all of their custom selections. From flooring and countertops to tile, showers, backsplashes, these are all finishes that bring your home to life and make it uniquely yours. But with so many products, styles, and price points available, knowing what to choose can feel really overwhelming. And while it's easy to focus on what looks good, the best selections are the ones that fit your lifestyle, your family, and the way you actually live in your home every day. There's a lot that goes into the price of a home, and the selections you make can have a significant impact on your overall budget. We'll be discussing everything from granite, quartz countertops, shower finishes, and more. Our goal is to help you make informed decisions so you can confidently choose the products that best fit your family needs, your personal style, and your budget. So let's get started and go hear from our experts. We've just arrived at Texas Marble, and we're gonna go inside and chat with Leslie and learn a lot about the different selections when it comes to countertops and showers. So kind of what I wanted to start with is just when customers walk in and they're really overwhelmed and don't really know how to go through the selection process. I mean, there's so many things to choose from. How do you usually start that process off, getting them to narrow down those selections?
Well, first we start with, what room you're looking at putting countertops in. Then we'll go with material. There's certain materials that you're looking at, and you already have something selected as far as colors. We kind of start there, and then once I've spoken with them, I kind of can find out as far as what kind of look they're going for, something more uniform, something with more dramatic movement through it. Then we can kind of narrow it down, and I can kind of guide them a little bit more to what material they might be interested in.
Okay, cool. So I think the first thing that I would be most excited about is the kitchen area and learning about what different selections you have for the countertops. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me a little bit about what those options are and some of the price points for the different countertops?
Sure.
That you offer?
First natural stone is one of the most popular ones that we do. We have it offer, they ranges, it starts out at 40, 42 a square foot. That's for a builder level color, but it can go way up in price. The more veining, the more colors and movement through the stone, then that, it's gonna go up more so in price.
No, that makes sense. So you said builder grade.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lot of people kind of have a misconception about builder grade materials. Mm-hmm. So it's typically not lesser in quality, right? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
That's just a more affordable colors. Those are the least expensive of granite colors that are available. It doesn't have anything really to do with durability or it's not as better of a grade. It just means that they're the least expensive colors, and a lot of times they're used in a builder spec house because they don't want to spend as much, on that particular stone that they're putting in it. So It's a good option. If you really have a tight budget that you need to stay within, then you probably want to start with a builder level color and then,
Okay, yeah, so they're not necessarily lesser quality or anything than the higher end things. They're just they're more common.
They are.
Okay.
More of a uniform look.
That's so interesting because I feel like I typically associate builder grade with lesser quality, or a lot of people do, and that's a huge misconception.
Oh yeah, a lot of people do that. Yeah.
So that's cool. Can you show us a few of the different selections that you have in the natural stone that are some of the most popular ones? Are
we gonna go outside?
Yeah, we can go wherever you want to take us.
This is ornamental white.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
If you want something lighter, but you can kind of tell that it has more of a uniform, more of a speckled look versus this mid-level. This is Blue Dune. There's a lot more movement, a lot more veining through it.
So this is a little bit of a step above the builder grade.
It is. This one, you can get a mid-level color. There's not a whole lot of difference in price, anywhere from probably about $8 to $15 a square foot difference.
This is definitely one of our more popular ones. I've seen a lot in our builds.
It is. We do a lot of Blue Dune, but it does vary a lot too. And that's something else. When you're picking out natural stone, if you've seen a particular color that you like, you need to make sure, or whoever you're dealing with, make sure that that's the color that they order in for you, because it can vary a lot. We've seen this come in really blue gray. I've seen it come in with a lot more brown. So, and then this one came in totally different and was much lighter, much creamier. And the thing too about the granite, and this is one of the big pros with it, it's very, very heat resistant.
Okay, cool.
To over 1,300 degrees.
Wow.
Quartz, you know, is a great product. It's scratch resistant. There's less maintenance. There's no sealing. With sometimes yearly with certain granites, you want to make sure that it's sealed properly. It's not anything you'd have to have someone do. You can do it yourself. Quartz, you don't have to apply any sealer to it. It's scratch resistant, but the con with it is that it's not very heat resistant.
Okay.
So I think with it ranges, it can start anywhere from 300 degrees up. It can possibly scorch. And if it gets up higher than that, it can crack.
Oh, wow.
So that's something that you need to know about it. And as far as with children, you know, there's really not one better than the other except for the heat.
Okay, so that's the big thing is the
that
heat
really
resistance.
is the thing with it.
And then I guess a little bit you talked about the maintenance thing too, but as far as the price, what is kind of the difference between quartz and granite, and why is there that difference there?
Well, say if you take like a mid-level granite, you're looking at around say 40 to 55 a square foot, where with the quartz, it's anywhere from 60, 65 and up.
Okay.
So as far as price-wise, the difference in the two, I'm going to say somewhere between around $10 a square foot. You know, it depends on how much waste you have left over. If we order in a material for you, there's going to be more waste. The cost is going to be higher.
Okay.
You know, if it's something considered consignment, then it's by the square foot, not by the job. And you can save more money by buying it if it's through consignment. So.
Okay, and is the price difference kind of due to just it being a manufactured stone rather than a natural stone?
It is. It's the whole manufacturing process, and that's why some quartz are more expensive than others, because if there's a lot more veining, this depends on the veining pattern, then the technology, the equipment that's used to get that look is more expensive, and so then it raises the price of the quartz. This is Elephas, and it's a quartzite.
Okay, it does kind of look like elephant skin, I guess. So
I'm not sure how they came up. Some of the names of natural stone are really different, and they don't really go with the material.
So this is a quartzite, right?
This is a quartzite.
And this is the natural stone.
It is.
Okay.
This falls between granite and marble as far as durability.
Okay.
Marble being the softest of the natural stone, quartzite's harder, and it is not quite as durable as granite, because there's a lot of white quartzites that you really have to treat for staining. But as far as durability, it kind of falls in the middle. But they tend to be more rare, and so they're more expensive.
Okay.
There's not as many quarries of these
Okay.
as there are of some of the builder level and the other granite colors.
Okay, so you mentioned marble as well. So there is like a natural marble, right? And then there's cultured marble.
There is.
So can we talk a little bit about the differences in those two things?
Yes.
And like the durability and maybe why people choose them?
Yeah. So this is actually natural marble here.
Okay, cool.
This is Shadow Storm. This one is a dolomitic marble. It has more dolomite in it, so it will not stain as easily as, say, an Italian marble like Carrara. But it can be etched, so you do have to be careful with anything acidic. Price-wise, you know, this one is actually a very reasonably priced material, but in comparison to cultured marble, which is manufactured,
Okay.
it is more expensive.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Where does it fall in price range compared to like the granite and the
This
quartz?
This one is more of a mid-level.
Okay.
So it's like a mid-level granite. This is falls in the same price category. And
No,
it's
that's
very
really pretty.
popular. We do a lot of this one, and it varies quite a bit, but it's a very pretty marble.
Okay, so if you were to pick one for your countertops after working here all of these years, which one would you pick? Do you have one out here that is kind of your favorite?
Well, I'll be honest, I actually had this one on my island in my last house, and I loved it. But right now, in my newer home that I just built a couple years ago, I've got granite.
Okay.
So
Do you like that better so far, or just kind of a similar?
Really and truly, I mean, granite, of course, is easier to take care of because you don't have to worry about acidity, you know, and things like that.
And the heat resistance and everything.
Yeah, like you do with the marble. Now, marbles, being a natural stone, is very heat resistant. But yeah, the granite is just less maintenance with it, and you just don't have to be as careful with it.
Okay.
And we tend to gather around our island, So, you know, I don't have to be as careful with other guests over, you know, spilling something or lemon juice squirting, anything like that.
Yes.
So.
Okay, so are you able to show us some quartz now, some of the manufactured
Yes,
quartz that you have?
I'll take you back inside and we can show you the quartz samples. Quartz slabs, because they are manufactured and they've got resin in them, we don't leave them outside because it can yellow when it's exposed and fade when it's exposed to direct sunlight. That's why for outdoor usage, it's really not recommended. There are some UV resistant quartz that you can use outside, but you still don't want to expose them to direct sunlight. And there's also different fabrication guidelines you have to follow around grill areas because of it having the polymer in it.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's
There's more seams in the corners around, say, a griddle or a grill or something because of the heat. These are some of the different quartz brands that we offer. Most of the quartz, the thing about them, and that's why it's been so popular, is it has more of a marble vein to it, more of a marble look. And
so do you think people, since it is a little pricier, but it almost doesn't have the same heat resistance, do you think the main reason people choose it is because of the aesthetic purposes, or
I think
what's
so.
the main?
Yeah, I really do.
Just how it looks.
Most people like the look of a marble, but they realize that there's a lot of cons with the marble, and this way they can put it in and not have to worry about the staining, the etching. You still have to worry about the heat,
yes,
but you know, other than that, you don't have to be as careful with it.
Okay.
And you still get a light look, and you still get that marble looking vein.
So that's why my Mimi is always very adamant about me using heat protectant when I'm cooking and
that's why.
Putting towels down and everything.
That's
okay,
why,
cool.
yeah.
I know that.
Cultured marble has been around for a very long time, much longer than what people realize. It's a manufactured product that uses resin with crushed limestone, and then we add pigment for the color. We don't recommend it for kitchen usage because it has a gel coat finish to it. We gel coat the molds, then we pour the marble onto the mold. So you can anything like stoneware is going to scratch it if you're sliding a plate across it.
Okay.
I've had people say that they've put it in their kitchen before and it looks good, so they must really take care of it.
Wow. That's interesting.
But
I've never heard about anyone putting it in a kitchen either.
Yeah,
so.
but it is recommended mainly for bathroom usage. We manufacture tubs in it, showers, and of course vanity tops. And you have a choice of doing a molded sink, which we have some of these on display over here, where it's all one piece, or you have an option of doing an undermount sink. And then also, if you want to do a vessel or a drop-in sink, we can cut the hole for that, and then you can, drop that in.
So these are all cultured marble right here?
Everything you see on this, this is all cultured marble. And these are just some of the different color samples that we poured for people. We have two different veining techniques that we do. This is the older technique, which was considered a color ball. This is a newer technique that has more of a marbly look to it. There's more lines and not as much of the swirling effect.
So can you tell us a little bit about the price point on this one? And I've also noticed that it's becoming increasingly popular, I feel like, to see cultured marble everywhere.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about why that may be, why it's so popular nowadays?
Mainly because of the maintenance. Tile is beautiful and there's several different patterns of it, color patterns, shapes. But, you do have the grout lines, and a lot of people are not fond of that.
Yes.
With cultured marble, typically you just have corner joints, depending on the size of the panel, and there's just less maintenance. You can go through and apply a coating of car wax to it, and it will help repel any water spots, soap scum. You can go back and even with the vanity top, if you get any light scratches on it, you can go back with just a little hand polisher, buffer, and you can buff them out with car wax.
I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
And it's a really great product, and it's very reasonably priced. I mean, it starts out, it's anywhere between 25 and 30 a square foot, and that's depending on the thickness. The vanity tops are 3/4 inch. It's going to be a little more expensive per square foot. than say a wall panel that are 3/8 of an inch thick.
So circling kind of back to the shower molds, can you talk a little bit about the price differences when it comes to adding things like the benches and the shower niches and different things like that?
Sure. Just a standard mold of one of our shampoo soap dish molds, like this one here, or the corner one we have over here. Those are just standard. They're, very reasonably priced. Now, if you have a framed out niche, that's a little bit more expensive because we have to cut pieces to fit and miter them and add trim and stuff to it around the edges.
So when you mean framed out, what is it framed out in? Is it just...
Well, if
it depends on what they pick.
Yeah, like if it's framed out inside the wall, normally on the niches, the contractor will have it framed out. Their trim guy will frame it out, a framer, and then we go in and we'll cut pieces to fit inside and all the way around. They'll 45 them, and then we trim them out.
Okay, cool.
And that way you can pretty much make your shampoo soap area, or your niche the size you want it.
Yes.
These that we have are certain size molds. We can't change the size of them, so we only have certain ones available.
Okay.
Where it's a little more customized when you have a framed out niche.
Yes, gotcha. And then what about the benches and things like that?
Benches, this particular curved one is a mold that can be used as a seat, and if it is, we'll frame it a little bit differently up underneath to support someone sitting on it, or it's set up like this, just more of a ledge to possibly set stuff on, more extra bottles of shampoo or whatever. If you prefer a bench seat, we can cover the bench in the marble pieces like this one here. And of course you can make it to whatever fit, whatever size you want. You want just a triangle corner one, or if you want a full bench from side to side, we can do that.
All right, so we're kind of wrapping up our time in the showroom here, but I did want to ask you about what are some of the biggest mistakes people make when they're making their selections for their home on like countertops and showers?
Probably one of the biggest ones is choosing the material, because if they're wanting something that's low maintenance, you certainly don't want to go with something that's like a full marble shower, because you could only use certain products to clean it with. It's going to be more prone to, watermarks and stuff, where it needs to be repolished every year. It has to be sealed properly. You want to make sure whoever's installing it, it's, they have a reputable name, because if you get someone in there and it's not installed properly, it's not been sealed, you're going to have a lot of issues with it within a year's time, I promise you.
So sometimes the prettier ones aren't always the best for maintenance.
That's right.
So you really have to be selective and kind of do your research.
You really do.
What you're getting.
We've installed a lot of natural marble as well as quartzite showers through the years, and you really have to know how to take care of it, because a lot of people they see a beautiful Carrera shower, the whole bathroom's done in marble from ceiling to the floor. It's beautiful, but just know that you have to take care of that.
Yes,
you have to care for it. It's not just installing it and that's it, wiping it down. You do have to treat it, you have to seal it, and you have to just be careful with it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Leslie, for letting us come check out the showroom. I feel like I learned a lot of really interesting things that I can't wait to apply to my future home someday. So yeah, once again, thank you. You're so knowledgeable and definitely an expert at what you do. So it's been a great time.
Thank you. I've enjoyed speaking with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Remember, the best selections aren't always the most expensive ones. They're the products that fit your lifestyle, your family's needs, and your budget, while helping your home look great and perform well for years to come. And if you're planning to build a barndominium, we hope this information helps you feel more confident and prepared when it's time to make your own selections. Before we go, let us know in the comments which selections would be the hardest for you to choose: flooring, countertop, tile, or maybe something else. We'd love to hear what you're most excited or maybe most nervous about when it comes to designing your dream home. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on any great Barndo content in the future. We'll continue bringing you home tours, building tips, expert advice, customer stories, and behind-the-scenes look at the building process. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on the Barndo channel.